Work from home is a policy where employees are required to do their work from home. Although it's been implemented in European countries for decades, our country is still adapting to this policy. This policy was introduced in Malaysia during COVID-19 pandemic, when the 8th Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, announced the Movement Control Order (MCO), which is from March 18, 2020 to March 31, 2020. Everything needs to be shut down immediately to break the chain of COVID-19. Hence, during this period, work from home policy was started for those who work as public servants or in public sectors. During this global pandemic, social distancing is very important because it aims to stop the spread of COVID-19 amongst the public. Moving on to the timeline of this policy, during Movement Control Order 1.0, this is when all the employees throughout Malaysia are required to close their office and are advised to operate their works at home. Next, we move on to the MCO 2.0, the return of the Movement Control Order in Malaysia from January 13 until January 26, 2021. Only 5 essential economic sectors are allowed to operate with only 30% employees, mainly factories, manufacturing, construction, services, trading, and distribution, as well as plantation and commodities. Meanwhile, for the business that are non-essential service, work from home arrangements are mandatory. Last but not least, Movement Control Order 3.0 on the 11th June 2021, Defense Minister Ismail Sabri said that the whole countrywide lockdown, so economic operations are resuming in stages with up to 80% of workers permitted on site. All economic sectors may reopen and normal businesses operate may continue. So I'm giving this to the next speaker.
For the policy problem, General Order stipulates that all officers must report to the office on time. The non-office workers must be present at their respective workplace for a certain period of time or work shift. The government has agreed to adapt the work from home policy as a new way of working in the civil service. The first issue faced by the government is the company violated work from home policy. The Human Resources Ministry has received 3,737 complaints on various labor problems, most notably the issue with the work from home. According to Dr. Awang Hashim, during the execution of the Movement Control Order, the employers refused to allow employees to work from home. Employees must allow only 60% of the employees to work in the office for the permitted sectors, and the rest in the work from home setting. However, some firms require that all employees must report to work. Employers across Malaysia has been required to follow the standard operating procedures (SOP) by the Malaysian Employers Federation (MEF). This will be required until the COVID-19 is entirely eradicated. The MEF warns the authorities will take action if they do not comply. The second challenge faced by the government is the employee safety. According to Dr. Shauluddin Hussein, the head of Malaysian Association for Occupational Safety and Health, there are currently no legislative measures to safeguard the employees who are injured while working at home. This Sarabanan told the Dewan Rakyat that the employer's responsibility for the staff, safety and welfare in the work from home setting would soon be covered by the Employment Act. The Human Resources Ministers claimed that the existing law could be applied to work from home, which had become the common practice in the worldwide workforce. Slavery is a practice that does not create a safe and conducive working environment for the employees. The last challenges faced by the government is the cybersecurity issue. When the sudden global shift occurred, most organizations and the individuals were unprepared for the work from home. Employees eventually started using their own personal gadget for work. Worse, the WFH, open platform and collaborative tool connected via the wireless communication and personal devices, make it exposed to many cyber threats and attacks. The work from home increased the danger of data leakage, by casually using and exchanging corporate, commercial, and personal data. In this pandemic, the cybersecurity issues are as serious and severe as the COVID-19 threat to the entire population. Constant cyber attack on the government computer system and huge data breaches necessitate the collaborative study and management of the cybersecurity. Since the start of the COVID-19 outbreak, 62% of Malaysian firms have seen an increase in cybersecurity risks. Almost 5,000 cases of cybercrime have been reported to the country's cybersecurity agency. The most common type of incident reported were fraud, intrusion, and harmful code.
One of the challenges of work from home policy is social isolation. About 35% of the people who live in Malaysia have to start working at home. Some of them were apart from each other due to work circumstances. For instance, a couple who work for the government will have to work in different states. Social isolation happens when you have to stay at home alone with no one around you. It is the feeling of loneliness regardless of social interaction. Social isolation is characterized by a lack of social connection. The effect of being away from people might also lead to awkwardness when you are in public places. For instance, Malaysians reported the greatest level of anxiety among 28 nations in an Ipsos poll measuring the effect of work from home rules on workers. Next, we move on to the next challenges of work from home, which is no motivation in work. Since a lot of workers are not used to working from home, most of them are struggling to keep up with the company's schedule. Therefore, some of the workers might feel under pressure. Working alone might be difficult at times. Acknowledgement is provided in work office environment, which is both gratifying and inspiring. When they work from home, they must rely on the internal drive to get the job done. As a result, if the requirements of workers are not met, the level of employee engagement might decrease. Lack of motivation has a negative influence on not just ability of the workers to perform at work, but also to their mental health.
Hi, my name is Darren Hill and I'm going to present on the last point of challenges, spending less time with family. Office workers were able to express relief as they were allowed to continue working from home because the government had instructed a lockdown in the country. However, they are unaware that such thing necessitates high multitasking skills in order to perform a task at the same time spend time with family.
Next, we move on to the constraint in this policy. One of it is lack of office equipment. Having to work at home means that you must have a stable connection, your computer or your laptop is ready for you. During the first MCO, everything was shut down and only the essential were allowed to operate. This has caused some complication for the employees because some might not have any office equipment ready at home. Moreover, some of the workers are not able to afford office equipment like faxes, printers, or office tables. Therefore, when employees face this problem when doing work from home, there might be some effect on job performance. One of them is Key Performance Index. With the employee that have lack of office equipment, they might have missed the work given by their superior. Generally, the employees will be less productive because they do not have basic needed to work from home.
The second constraint or limitation of work from home policy is the internet connection problem. While businesses in cities have access to high-speed internet, those in less developed areas are still struggling. As more individuals working from home, some aren't getting the bandwidth they paid for. Samantha President estimated that 80% of SMEs are still struggling with employees working from home. To close the digital divide between the urban and the rural areas, as well as the urban poverty, Malaysia is still facing challenges. Rapid and uneven economic growth has increased the digital divide in Malaysia as it has in many other emerging and developed countries. It is commonly known that internet access is slow or non-existent in some places of Malaysia. Whether the suburbs or the countryside, infrastructure and citizen thinking must be balanced. Currently, only 80% of the rural marginal group have internet connectivity, compared to 82% in the suburban areas.
Moving on to technology hiccups, when the outbreak of COVID-19 and the need to transition from office to remote work, many workers would never have been educated to set of technologies. So the struggle in understanding the use of technology for work can be seen in the society, especially for those who are working from home. It is tremendously hard for the people to endure, particularly those who suffer technological difficulties. Nevertheless, there are recommendations to overcome technology hiccups. Firstly, companies should ensure right training on how to handle technologies. Since some projects require the uses of technological tools, employers should be obligated to assist the employees. Next is to follow up with trending technology. Although the organization works with the technology that they use now in the company, that does not mean that they cannot do the work with latest technology. So employers need to keep on track along with the employees so that it would be no problem for them to be comfortable with the newest invention of technology. In conclusion, work from home has become a new norm for us Malaysians. Despite the challenges, the government remains committed in addressing the implementation of the work from home policy. In addition, employees also go through such twists and turns as it may be difficult to focus on work while still caring for children or elderly. This is not a common thing for workers as it has changed the lifestyle routine at home.